Okay, so next thing that I want you guys to do is open Selenium IDE so that we can just play around with it a little bit. I want to show you guys something cool. So to get your Selenium IDE, all you have to do is go to developer, and then you'll have that Selenium IDE button, which you can also get to with Alt Control S. So I'm going to click that. You guys see this opens, and I'm going to put my web page on the side and my Selenium IDE on the side as well, so they're equal partners in this relationship. But actually I want Selenium IDE to be a little bit smaller, this a little bit bigger. So what you can see right now is Selenium IDE is recording, and that's okay. So what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to click on this button, and you guys can see that right away I got some code in the Selenium IDE. Let me stop recording, go back here, and look back on this page. So Selenium IDE is a nice theoretical tool used to create automated tests, right? People use it to pitch, record, and playback because it's so easy, but in the long term, it is not maintainable at all. Don't ever think of using it. And if you're taking my course and you're using this tool, I'm going to be very angry, and me and you will have a serious chat. But the reason I like Selenium IDE is it kind of gives you a good introduction to how to identify elements with Selenium WebDriver. So for example, I can come over here to the commands, and I can open this up, and I can see a bunch of commands that Selenium IDE has. So if I want to do something like a highlight, I can click highlight, and then if I do the if I do right click and then execute command, it should highlight. Go up, did it highlight? Click X to highlight. There it is. Okay, so X, you guys see highlighting in bright yellow on the right side, this button. That's awesome, right? And you guys can see that using this highlight command and this target, which is ID equals ID example, I am able to highlight this element. And there's many other commands which obviously translate well into Selenium WebDriver, but those aren't important. The other cool thing here is this reference, which obviously tells you how a command works. And then there's also a log that helps you to understand what it's doing. So if I'm selecting this line and then looking at the log, and then I click X, logs the fact that I was highlighting an ID example, and if it fails, it comes out to the log as well. Now, if we want to change the element that we want to click on, we can click the select button, and for example, let's try this one. You guys see how it's selecting? And it popped up this target value for us to locate our elements. So that's why Selenium IDE can be cool sometimes, because it can help you identify an element and show you how to identify it. In fact, there are many different ways to identify this single element. In this case, it's use CSS. You can also use XPath, XPath, and XPath in all of these cases. So, for example, let me leave this, and then if I do a X on this command, it should highlight that button. You guys see that? It did. Do it again. See that? But if I change to another identifier like this, it should also be able to do that. By hitting the X button, I can see that it's highlighting that element. So what this is showing you is a few of the possible ways that Selenium can use to identify an element. And even further, it's showing you some hints as to the values that you can use with Selenium WebDriver.